beast! Ah!
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Not the Bees, the Nicolas Cage filmography podcast. I'm Megs.
And I'm Elizabeth.
And this week we watched 2019's Running with the Devil. It's an hour and 40 minutes long. It only has 25% on the tomato meter, but it has a pretty stacked cast. We've got Nicolas Cage, we've got Lawrence Fishburne, Leslie Bibb, Cole Hauser, Adam Goldberg, Peter Fasinelli, Barry Pepper, so on and so forth. I did pull this plot right up from Wikipedia just for the sake of keeping everything in continuity, because one of the devices that this movie uses is a lot like traffic, where we're bouncing back and forth between different areas and different people that are very loosely connected. No one also has any character names. They're just titles, which is a little bit confusing. I just wanted to make sure everything kept in line. So we'll go ahead and get started. When a cocaine shipment is compromised to the dismay of the business's masterminds, a chain of events is set in motion to understand the root of the problem. The cook and the man, played by Nicolas Cage and Lawrence Fishburne respectively, are entrusted with the mission to track the supply chain and identify the point of failure. As they trace the journey of the drugs, moving from the fields to the processing facilities and then crossing the borders to reach the distributors, they encounter numerous obstacles. The cook, known for his meticulous nature, is a high-ranking operative, while the man, a veteran trafficker, brings his streetwise tactics to the operation. Along the way, they cross paths with a host of characters representing different facets from the drug trade, from farmers to brokers and from dealers to enforcers. As they move closer to discovering the truth, the duo finds themselves navigating a world filled with greed, betrayal, and extreme danger. The labyrinthine network of drug trade exposes them to the harsh realities of this underground world, where loyalty is scarce and life is cheap. The DEA, under the charge of the agent in charge, played by Leslie Bibb, and her right hand, known as the sniper, who is played by Peter Fasinelli, concurrently conducting an operation to bring down the drug cartel. This puts them on a collision course with the cook and the man, setting the stage for a very tense and potentially explosive confrontation. As the net tightens around the various players involved in the drug trade, a tale of survival unfolds, with individuals caught in the crossfire attempting to protect their own interests. In a world where lines between good and evil are often blurred, a race against time ensues, with everyone trying to salvage what they can before the inevitable showdown. So, I didn't really tell you a whole lot about the movie, and we will talk about the movie, but that's basically what it is. We're following the path of how these drugs are made and get into the system. And the cook, Nicolas Cage's character, is responsible for going from the point where it's made to the point where it reaches the destination of the boss, which is played by Barry Pepper. And the DEA agents involved are also kind of there, but on the sidelines. No one really knows about their involvement up until the very end. Elizabeth, what did you think of this movie?
I thought this movie was boring.
Yeah.
The FBI plot was interesting. I guess DEA, they never really specify which agency they're working for.
No, they don't.
But it opens with the agent in charge, her sister overdoses. And her niece gets ready for school. She makes her own peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and she makes her own breakfast, and she puts on her coat, but she leaves her house in her pajamas, and she goes to the bus stop, and the bus driver opens the door, and she just says, "I can't wake them up." And that kicks off this whole thing. And that is an interesting story to start with. But traveling from Colombia through Mexico into the Joshua Tree National Desert, up into Seattle, Tacoma, and then on into the National Cascadian Mountain Range, all to get to Vancouver, is fucking boring. It's boring as shit.
Yeah.
It's boring as shit. I think the farmer gets screwed because when he creates his kilo of drugs, it's only worth $1,600. And by the time it gets up to Vancouver, it's worth $43,000 a kilo.
Yeah.
So once again, the little guy's getting screwed. But I knew we were kind of in for a bad time when you see that it's a Redbox exclusive movie. I don't know, but I might be off base. What did you think, Megan?
I also thought that it was boring. I thought that there were parts that could have, like, this is, like, I kind of have a thing about movies that do this, that have several different plot lines running at the same time concurrently, and they're all supposed to coalesce somewhere at the climax. Because they don't all do it the right way. They don't all do it very well.
Yeah.
This one isn't done very well. I would have really loved to see more of this from the perspective of the DEA agent and her partner, but like we really don't even see a whole lot of both of them. But then we also see parts where like he's just in a completely different area than her, but like we just have to assume that this is like the tactics and strategy that they're using. Like, why is he like randomly at the border of one of the Mexican cities that the second delivery man is going to? Like, he's just how did he get there? How did we get from where they were to that place?
Right. Why? How did you pinpoint that as the locale the drugs were going to come through?
Exactly. How did you pinpoint that it was going to be on a bus?
Right.
How did you pinpoint that the federales that were doing the checkpoint were involved? Like, how did we gain all of this information? Because it seems like there's a lot of intelligence that's going on that the audience is completely left out of.
Right. Right.
What were your thoughts on the cook's journey? Because that also had a lot of instances where like I feel like that same kind of thing happened where him and the guy that he is sent with, which is codenamed the Executioner, just like show up randomly.
He's not set up very well. I mean, they show him owning a pizza joint and they call him the cook, but then he's deep into narco trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not set up very well.
Mm-mm.
I will say the one scene in the woods between Nicolas Cage and Lawrence Fishburne where he's like, "You're cutting my drugs," and Lawrence Fishburne's like, "Yeah, I'm cutting them with fentanyl heroin." That was a really powerful scene. And it was
Mm-hmm.
it was really, really well acted. It was really well written and delivered, and I just really liked that scene. I thought that scene was phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree. The acting was spectacular. And honestly, the two of them working together is such a treat because they play off of each other very, very well.
Yes.
I think this is the third time we might have seen them together.
Third or fourth, yeah.
Yeah, there have been a few. Definitely Bad Detective. I don't remember what the other one was but I know
Rumblefish and the Cotton Club, they're both in those.
Yeah, the Cotton Club. There was also the one where Lawrence Fishburne was like a gangster. Anyways, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Yeah, there have been several. They play off of each other really well, and that was the thing is like the cook's motivation is kind of twofold. Like he's in trouble with the boss because the shipments have been coming in late. So there's shortage that they need to figure out where that's occurring. There's also, which you would think is opposing to the shortage, there are people overdosing on this cocaine because it's been cut with fentanyl and heroin because that's what the man's been doing. So he's going not only to discover where the shortage is coming from so that he can put his boss's mind at ease, he's also at every single location testing the purity of the cocaine to find out where it becomes cut with other things.
Right.
And then, like, there's just... this movie's so weird. And not in, like, a good way. Like, Adam Goldberg shows up. I guess his code name is the Snitch, even though he's not... He wasn't the snitch at the beginning. He was forced into being a snitch, but again, also doesn't have a name. Where, like,
I was just looking up who played the snitch because I love him. I love him in everything. And when he showed up, I was like, "Oh my god, yay!"
Same. Yeah, and then he was just kind of like filler. He was just kind of like fluff. He was kind of like, who can we get to like take their pants off and hang out?
Let's get into the DEA for a moment because they pick him up. He goes to Lawrence Fishburne's apartment. He goes to the man's apartment, and he's there. and he's gonna have sex with these hookers that Lawrence Fishburne had the night before. And he goes into the bedroom and he finds them both dead. And Lawrence Fishburne convinces him to take the girls and get them out of the apartment. He'll pay him $5,000 and take my car. So he's in a car in front of a hospital, and two cops see him do a line of blow, and they go over and they find two dead hookers in the car, and they arrest him. They found two dead hookers, a kilo of coke, and $5,000 and a gun in the car. And the DEA agent comes in and he's like, "It's not my car." And she's like, "Then whose car is it?" And then she's like, "You know what? Never mind. You can leave." And they set him free. He walks out of the building. She picks him up and then puts him in a torture chamber.
Yeah.
And so it's never clear, like, what agency is this bitch working for? B, when did the U.S., agencies change tactics to where they could string a guy up by his arms, strip him naked, and use enhanced interrogation techniques on him in Seattle?
Yeah. Yeah, like her descent into like rage-filled justice just doesn't, like, there's no descent. It's just a straight drop.
Yeah.
Like, and at the same time, like, she's also not convincing of it either. So, like, the only thing that we can really, like, assume from this is that her character is just, like, a stone-cold sociopath in general with some perverted sense of justice. I don't know.
Right. When we get to the end and she shoots the cook, that isn't earned.
It's not.
She hasn't done anything along the way to earn that ending.
No, not at all. I agree. I want to talk about what happens around the end. It starts with, because honestly, like, the last 30 minutes was probably the best part of the film.
Yeah, I agree.
And it starts with the man and the cook going on this trek to get into Canada. They have to go on foot, and they're wearing camouflage, and it's cold as shit. It's snow on the ground and everything. They have this little heart-to-heart. The man says, "You could just kill me, leave me here, be done with it." And he's like, "That's not my decision to make." So they keep going. And then the man falls in a creek. He loses his pack that has half of the cocaine in it. The cook gets him. They go to finally, like, look for the pack because it's gone downstream. And somehow the cook gets over the edge of a ridge. And the man just lets him fall. He's like, "I'm going to take my chances with the cartels." And then he, like, as he's getting back there, he finds the pack on the bank. And the entire time, he thinks that the cook is dead.
We think that the cook is dead.
We do. And the boss and the executioner, the guy that went with the cook through the entire trail.
Like, I wrote the note, Nick Cage is dead.
I almost wrote that down in my notes, but I was like, no, he's not dead. He's not actually dead, because I feel like any time that we've seen him die on screen, he's dead on screen. He didn't die, he fell. And I'm like, there's no way. There's no way.
Well, you're much smarter.
But at the end, like, when they're killing him, and again, Peter Fasinelli's character, which, first of all, before I get to this point, I just want to make sure that if he is listening, just because you change the color of your hair and smack a fake mustache on your face, we still know you're a vampire, Dr. Cullen, okay? We still know. We still know. Anyways, he's, like, hiding behind the corner of this building watching them, like, murder him. How did he find out they were there?
No clue.
No clue. And, like he doesn't, like, report that. He just tells the agent in charge. This doesn't make any sense to me. This movie is boring. It's only really good when Lawrence Fishburne and Nicolas Cage are on screen. I don't know. That's my opinion. What would you rate this movie?
Honestly, I give it a C or a D.
I feel like a D is probably more appropriate, if I'm honest.
All right.
It's just not good. What do you think about Cage, though?
I thought he phoned it in. I thought a lot of it was wrote easy for him. There's no real, cagey moments. There's no, signal of brilliance hiding in there.
The juxtaposition, honestly, of his character being as mild-mannered as he is, but also as calmly violent, like, it's just... Because he kills a lot of people in this movie. The only time we ever see him anything other than just calm and composed is when he kills the man at the end.
Yeah.
When he's all banged up.
And that's because it felt like it was a personal betrayal.
Yeah.
It's one thing for him to effectuate the deaths of all of these people across, like the first runner that gets killed in the guy's house when he sits down for dinner.
Yeah.
The cook had a very direct hand in making that happen, but he wasn't the one wielding the blade. But it's so personal when the man leaves him in the woods for dead. He takes it upon himself to be the executioner.
And it's crazy how everyone, like, above him, the boss, the executioner, the other people in the organization were like, yeah, cool, we'll play along. We'll totally play along. 100%. And then, like, the only time that we see the agent be anything other than, like, a two-dimensional cardboard cutout of some Fed is when she goes to the boss's office, which I'm assuming is in Canada.
It's in Vancouver, yeah.
Yeah. So I guess he's like a Canadian politician, which is strange. It's definitely not as exciting as Traffic. I feel like this movie was trying to be Traffic, but...
Yeah, I got that sense watching it too.
It's not good. It's not good. Not that Traffic was a great movie, mind you, but it was at least exciting. Like, the urgency was there for what was happening.
The big problem with this movie is that there's no good guy.
No, everybody sucks. Everybody sucks here. Yeah, 100%.
Everybody is bad. What would you give the caginess of it?
Probably about the same as the film itself, honestly. Probably like a C-, D+ at most.
Yeah, let's give him a C-.
Okay, yeah. Because it felt very phoned in, like you said. It just felt like he just was showing up to do his work and going home. And, like, I honestly felt there was more of a performance from Lawrence Fishburne. Not that he doesn't always perform, because he always fucking performs, right? But, like, it felt like he's the one that carried it.
Oh, yeah, but Lawrence Fishburne is giving a masterclass. Yeah.
Yeah, like, he 100% carried this movie, and he's not in it except for really, like, the last of it. Like, he kind of seems, up until the end, like a side character. Like, you don't really know the level of involvement of his character until we find out, like, oh, shit, I got it, okay. And that, again, is, like, the last 30 minutes of the movie, so... Yeah, I don't know. I would, what did we say, C- for Cage? Yeah, it's unfortunate. I don't have anything else to say about this movie other than, maybe don't watch it. Maybe it's, if you really want to, like, wade through, like, an hour and change for that 30 minutes at the end, like, good on you, but it's really not worth it. So I think we're going to call it here, folks. But as always, we thank you for being here with us and hanging out and talking about these movies. If you want to help us in any way, you can interact with this episode on whatever podcasting app you use. We're on all of them, including YouTube. On socials, we are on Instagram and Not the Beast Pod. And if you are feeling generous, which we hope you are, you can kick us a couple of bucks to keep doing this over on patreon.com/notthebees. But that's going to do it for us this week. I've been Megs.
I've been Elizabeth.
And we'll see you next time.